Almost 100 years ago, Arthur Meighen made a journey. It was a journey that meant more to him than so many he had taken before. He was at the pinnacle of purpose, power, and prestige in our country. His talents in parliamentary debate were already well recognized by friend and political foe alike. In fact, after Arthur Meighen's very first speech in the House of Commons, it was no less than Sir Wilfrid Laurier himself who turned to his House of Commons seatmate and said, "Borden has found his man." And indeed, Sir Robert Borden had. And when Robert Borden retired as Prime Minister, it was Arthur Meighen who Parliament turned to succeed him as Prime Minister. But thoughts of politics and partisanship were not on Arthur Meighen's mind that special day. Instead, our ninth Prime Minister sought the company of those who knew him best. It was August 16th, 1920, and Arthur Meighen came home. Home to his part of Ontario. Home to St. Mary's. He had only been Prime Minister 1 month, but Arthur Meighen did not arrive in triumph or victory. Instead, the man we honor today came home to thank the people who had molded and mentored him on his way to high office. St. Mary's is St. Mary's still, he said with great emotion. It is the old family home, and the enduring recollections which can circle around no other place on earth. Today, so many decades on, we are here. And this afternoon we renew our pride in knowing that a Prime Minister of Canada once walked among us. Why? Why do we do so? Why do we still honor a long-past leader? Why do we return here time and time again? It is Meighen himself who perhaps put it best. We turn aside, he once said, to pay tribute where tribute is due, and gain inspiration if we can, courage if we can, and wisdom if we can, at the fountain of history. Arthur Meighen spoke those words in paying tribute to his hero, the father of Confederation, Sir John A. Macdonald. Quite fittingly, then, we meet today to honor a past Prime Minister in the most unique of all fashions. It was not long after the death of Sir John A. that a statue was raised in his honor on Parliament Hill, the scene of Macdonald's greatest victories, and the place where he guided a young nation in her earliest of days. Not long after the statue was erected, a mighty elm was planted nearby. In fact, it was during Arthur Meighen's premiership that this very tree was planted. And as Canada grew, so did this special tree. Remarkably, standing strong near Macdonald's parliamentary statue, it became one of the very few trees to survive the spread of Dutch elm disease, and the only one on Parliament Hill. In the 1960s, as part of Canada's centennial celebrations, the statue behind me was commissioned to be placed on Parliament Hill near the statue of Sir John A. Macdonald and beneath the very elm tree we will be planting today. Earlier this year, the original tree was cut down as part of the restoration of Parliament Hill and her historic buildings. But in removing the tree, it was given a new chance, an opportunity to grow again. Twigs from it were carefully transported to the University of Guelph Arboretum, and once there, 10 of the grafted twigs became part of the university's world-renowned elm recovery project. So this afternoon, at the foot of Prime Minister Arthur Meighen, Canada's most historic elm tree will continue its journey through the Canadian history. In the days, months, and years to come, it will grow and grow. And in so doing, it will now be part of St. Mary's permanent memorial to her famous son. It has been an honor and a privilege to join you this afternoon for this ceremony, and I would now like to call on Mayor Strathy to join me as we plant this historic elm tree.